welcome.
Hello.
We're so
Good
glad
morning.
to be here with you today. It's me, Catherine, from Grace Company, and I'm here with
Mark Martin
from Grace Company, and we are here with our friends from Ken's Sewing Center. We've got Kevin and Brad.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
We're so glad that you are here to join with us today. We just, I never have enough time talking to you guys. You're my favorite accent that I talk to during the day.
accent.
Yeah. I love the Southern accent that you guys have.
Well, if you moved to Alabama, you'd be talking like us in 2 weeks.
Okay, well, maybe I'll think of that when I retire.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I'll practice it. So we are here today. We are so excited. We have not talked about this product with Ken's Sewing Center yet, and it is one of our favorites. I think it's one of Ken's favorites. I mean, it's a gold, it's
popular.
It is. People love this one, that is for sure. So we have here today our Little Rebel and Cutie Breeze. I hear a whole bunch of you going, yay, yay, tell us more, right?
Yeah, and put in the comments, right? If you've been looking at the Little Rebel or the Cutie Breeze, put in the comments where you're watching from. Because this is live, we can answer any questions.
Yep.
Brad and Kevin can answer any questions too, so bring the questions in. We want to know where you're watching from. And if this has been something you've been looking at for quite some time, and if it is, now will be the time to purchase it through Ken's Sewing Center, who's been selling these. Like, you can't keep these on your floor. You bring these in and they go out. They've just been very popular. What have you guys noticed with the Little Rebel and the Cutie combo?
Well, we're a dealer for all the major brands that's on the market. And one thing I really like about the Grace products, they're made by quilters for quilters. There's a lot of thought has went into this particular machine, looking at other machines that's out there with a larger throat space and the height of that throat space, having the regulation built in, being able to go back and forth. And then if you need to do a little piecing with it, you can. There's so many accessories available for it. And then I've not even talked about frames yet. Once you get to that point, if you want a frame, it works with all the frames. So it's really hard to go wrong with the Little Rebel.
It is true. I mean, it's a versatile machine. It can do so much, definitely.
And we heard them. So you guys carry all major brands.
Yeah.
What really attracts the industry with the Little Rebel? Since you guys brought it on, this is our entry level quilting machine, which we'll talk about it. But what have you guys noticed, Kevin and Brad, that really brings to life? People talk about like, oh, I want to dream to get this, or I got to save up money to get that. I wish I could. I got to, do whatever. But since you guys brought this into your store years ago, it's been a success for you. And I'm just wondering, and everybody else is wondering, like, what have you guys noticed that this has done for the industry?
Well, one thing about the Little Rebel machine, it's one machine that does it all. You can do your long arm quilting, you can do your piecing, you can do your ditch quilting. You can do pretty much any kind of quilting or any kind of sewing you want to do with the machine. It has a very large throat space. It works great with the quilting frames. That stitch regulator being built into it and that plate being just easy to change in and out. It's just like, it's a breeze just to change it from one to the other. You can lift it on and off the frame easily. And the price point is something nobody else has got. It's the best price long arm machine on the market.
It is true. It is true. And quilting can be an expensive hobby, but it doesn't have to be. That is the nice thing about the Little Rebel. You only have to have one machine. You don't need to have your sewing machine to do your piecework and another long arm to do your quilting. This does it all. You only need the one machine.
Yep, exactly. It does it all. And so we'll talk about that. But I love seeing the comments, and we have people coming in. We have one from Arizona. And then Barry mentioned that he's waiting for his Cutie Breeze today from Ken's to Ohio. So that's one right there. So, yeah.
I remember Mr. Barry.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mr. Barry.
Yes.
All right.
Tammy, I would love Little Rebel, full on anarchy with automation. That is something that we launched when we first came out with it. I haven't seen that terminology used for quite some time. Yeah.
So. But we can talk about automation with the Little Rebel. Like we've talked about, it's versatile. It can be automated. So amazing. You can have the full shebang in a smaller footprint and a smaller
Yes.
price,
Yes.
which is great.
It is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, so Kevin and Brad, you guys
Yeah.
sell a lot of sewing machines as well, a lot of domestic machines, a lot of customers. You know, put in the comment, you know, if you already own a domestic machine and you are looking to get a little larger throat, we already talked about this has a larger harp this way, has a larger throat, 13 inches, stitch regulation built in. One thing that I've noticed over the years is when people want to transition from their smaller machine, and you guys probably know this too, Brad and
Yeah.
Kevin, but when you want to transition, you get maybe scared or you talk yourself out of it because of maybe how unuser-friendly, whatever you're looking at, or looks just too complicated to use. So I really love how easy it is to transition from your sewing machine to the little Rebel
Right.
and use it as a dedicated quilting. We're going
Yes.
to talk about all the wonderful features that this has, but when you dedicate this 13-inch
Yep.
stitch-regulated machine as a dedicated quilting machine, your quilting journey will change forever.
It's true. And like he's saying, it's a familiar look, a familiar feel. When you are using the little Rebel, it's not any different than using your sewing machine that you've been using for years. It feels the same, it looks the same. There's not a whole bunch of different buttons that make you confused. I mean, it is awesome.
Yep.
It is super easy to use,
It is.
which is great.
You know, one comment I want to pull out, you know, I hope I say this right, is probably is Danielle, right? It's not down.
Yeah, Danielle.
So she purchased a little Rebel, but she's looking for inspiration, kind of what frame, some
Okay.
encouragement. So we'll get into that too. This
Yeah.
package that we are doing with Ken's is the Cutie with Little Rebel.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Cutie and why the Cutie is such a fantastic package deal with Little Rebel.
So I love the Cutie for quite a few reasons. Number one, there are so many people out there that just don't have the space for a big 10-foot, 12-foot, or even a 5-foot frame. You might be in an apartment, you might be in an RV, you might be you know, just where you don't have a lot of space. The nice thing about the Cutie is it goes in a smaller footprint. It's only 4.5 feet wide, and you can do any size quilt on it. I mean, you're not stuck just doing small baby quilts or runners or that sort of thing. You can do a king size quilt on this frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's non-dedicated,
Yeah.
right? You don't need to dedicate a spot for it. So being only
Yeah.
4 feet, you can do what you can do on the 10-foot frame. So if
Right.
you're looking on getting a system and you're looking in your room and you're like, I don't have space for anything else in this house,
Yes.
the Cutie and this package with Little Rebel has been bringing dreams come true
Yeah.
because that you don't need to dedicate. And I know something with you and with you, Ken's, is you guys brought the Cutie on just for that. I mean, you guys seen the vision of this product because you know there's a lot of
Yeah.
customers out there who don't have the space.
Yep.
They can't make room. And so the Cutie comes into play. And the Cutie you can set up anywhere. You don't have to dedicate certain spots in your home. As long as
Right.
you have a flat surface, it can sit right on there. And I know you guys over the years have done a phenomenal job on taking our product and putting it in people's homes for their dream to come true.
Yes.
We tried for years and years to get companies to manufacture a smaller frame that's of good quality. And there's no telling how many customers we could not get into quilting because of that. Well, years ago when Grace came out with the Cutie, you know, we've got the Cutie Breeze, which is the latest model out. That's our #1 selling frame by far.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like Mark said, it breaks down really easy. It breaks down small enough you can put it under a bed. You can stick it in a closet. You can stick it in a corner. When you're not using your frame, you can put it away. So those with even less space than not very much, you can put it away where it's out of your way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people waiting to hear about this awesome package. We are
Yes.
talking about the Cutie right now. We're talking about how universal or how user-friendly and universal the Cutie can be, from doing a king-size quilt all the way down to a lap quilt, non-dedicated. And it is easy to set up with only 6 simple steps, easy to
Yep.
set up. You can set this up easy.
About 20, 30
Yeah,
minutes.
20, 30
yes,
minutes
super
is
easy
super
setup.
easy. So the Cutie is really just what I call an accessory, because when I start thinking the word frame, and probably you out there too, when you hear the word frame, again, that's expensive.
Yes.
And this package in particular, we're talking about a Cutie. Now, you can look at other frames. We do have several other options for you if you do want a larger frame.
Right.
You can absolutely look at that and get it through Ken's. We do have wonderful large frames as well. But with the Cutie frame, you're able to do the exact same thing with a smaller footprint at a price point that is really untouchable. So the cutie is an accessory. It just sits on your table, it holds your fabric, and it doesn't do anything else than that. So it's just a simple accessory for your sewing machine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And paired with the Little Rebel,
Yes.
I mean, it's a perfect pairing, honestly. It's like it was meant to be, even though they didn't come out at the same time. We've had the Cutie around for years. Many of you have been using your domestic machines on the Cutie, which is awesome. That's why we came out for it, for all of those that wanted to use their domestic machine. But if you've had some issues with your throat space on your machine, you're just having to move your fabric a little more than you would like to, Little Rebel is what you would like to look at.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That is something, right, Brad and Kevin, as we look at moving along with your journey, some of the limitations we come across with our own sewing machine is a throat space.
Right.
It's the L-class bobbin, it's using the foot pedal, it's keeping the stitches the same length. More importantly, a lot of you quilters, and I want to see, put in the comment if you're this quilter that right now you're quilting your sewing machine and you're moving the fabric underneath the sewing machine, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of great quilters out there who can manage that.
Yes.
I don't know how they can do that, but a lot of great quilters can.
Yes. And
so,
do beautiful work.
yeah, do really good work. So if you are the quilter who's looking at your sewing machine and you've been, again, dreaming on getting a dedicated quilting machine, now's the time to listen in about the Little Rebel, because it's one that's going to take your journey to the next level, your opportunity of getting a quilted machine. As Brad mentioned earlier, stitch regulation built in.
Yes.
Stitch regulation, Kathy,
That's
is
a game changer.
a huge game changer.
It is. If you've been using your domestic machine on the Little Rebel, or on the Cutie Breeze, pardon me, and you've been using your foot pedal, you know the limitations. They're not where you can't overcome them. It's just a little bit more difficult. Well, with the Little Rebel, it has that stitch regulation built in, which means if you go a little faster with your handles, you go a little slower, those stitches are gonna stay beautiful, the same size, and built right into the machine. You don't have to add anything extra to get that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned a lot of things over the years, and one thing that I'm still trying to understand, your mind, your hand, your body, all of everything that you're trying to do, you need to communicate together.
Yes.
So again, if you've been using your own sewing machine, you're trying to communicate with your mind to your hands, how fast you're moving, with your foot pedal and your foot. That's not a great way to learn how to quilt.
Right.
And if you're new to quilting, or you're just wanting to be better and get the right tools, your foot has to talk with your hands, right? Your mind has to talk with your hands. It's like all these components need to work together to make sure your stitches stay the same length,
Right.
that you're getting what you want out of it. Let's eliminate some of that stuff, right? So let's talk about how we're going to eliminate some of the stuff with just having a machine that's already stitch regulated.
Yep.
That's going to take away, again, the brain and your hands talking together on, if you're using your foot pedal and you step on your foot pedal fast, you're going to need to move the fabric fast, right?
Yes.
So now you can simply, like Kathy mentioned, we're going to turn this on here in a minute, but with the stitch regulation, I don't need to worry about my foot, my mind, my hands. That's not a great way to learn. Let's give you something simple so you can transition easy from what you have.
So let's talk about a few of the things that the Little Rebel come with that are extras that you don't have to have, but it sure makes it a really nice machine. Number one, M-class bobbin. What does that mean? What is an M-class bobbin? That's an M-class bobbin right there. It's a larger bobbin, holds 65 to 70 yards of bobbin thread. So you're not changing your bobbin as often, which makes it a lot easier to quilt with. With that being said, how easy is it to change the bobbin here on the Little Rebel?
Yeah, real easy, right?
Yeah.
It's right in front. So right in front here, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up the needle there. But right in front, which is very hard to see, I understand that, but I'm just coming down here and it's simply just right in front, and I can go ahead and I can pull this out and have...
There's a
it
good
is.
view of it right
Yep,
there.
there's a good view, so right in front.
Yep.
Okay, so it's easy access, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Again, we want you to transition easy. So having the M-class bobbin out front is an easy access to change your bobbin when you run out with the M class, which will take longer because you have the larger M class bobbin.
And not only does it have the larger bobbin, but there's also lights down there in the bobbin, because when you're quilting and your fabric is hanging here in the front, sometimes you don't want to pull out your phone and turn on your flashlight so you can stick the bobbin in. It's got the lights right there built in, makes it so convenient.
Yep.
The lights are very, very helpful.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, it is helpful. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen the comments, but Tammy's mentioned that she does push quilting and she thinks it should be like a wrestling or a Olympic sport because she's wrestling the fabric.
Yeah.
So many of us go through with that. I know Brad and Kevin and us too.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of those stories as we travel to shows, as customers come into your stores, that you are wrestling with that.
Yeah.
And that's what the cutie will do. The cutie will eliminate that wrestling. You don't need to worry about all of that because it's on the frame for you to quilt.
Right.
So Tammy, you're right. It should be an Olympic sport. And it shouldn't have to be wrestling. It should be something you enjoy.
Exactly. It should be like a calming adventure rather than a stressful adventure, right?
I remember when Ken was here, I would watch him I've been here 25 years. So it was the first year or two that I worked here, and he would be demonstrating a machine and be doing free motions long before all these frames came out. He said, "Do you remember how to hula hoop when we were kids?" And everybody would look at each other like, "Oh yeah, we remember trying to do that." And it's like trying to keep everything together and do the free motion. And like you said, Mark, trying to put all that together. The nice thing about these are already in the frames. You got the stitch regulation. The machine has long enough throat space to be able to handle all that really easy. You're not wrestling with that fabric like you do when you're trying to move it yourself.
Absolutely.
Another great thing about it too that a lot of my customers have really liked is, you know, you can set it up at different heights. If you want to sit down and quilt on it, you can sit down. If you want to stand up, you can stand up. So it's going to give you a lot of options there too, because it's lightweight, portable, easy to move around, and it works great.
Well, and the height adjustment is a big thing because you can see Mark here and you can see Catherine here. We're definitely different heights, right? So, you know, when you're a shorter quilter or if you're a taller quilter, it gives you the option to adjust that height, which is really, really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like what you guys are saying because you guys are touching upon the comfort level. We want you to quilt, right? We want you to quilt in the environment that makes you happy, that you can stand, you can sit. We want to eliminate a lot of those variables that bring issues into the quilting. And so what you guys are talking about is exactly right. With the cutie being on a table, you can, and it depends on where the height it is, you can raise it, you can lower it, so you're quilting in comfort. And then with the handles that you get, so these handles are nice and ergonomic handles, and it's so smooth. So what I love about this system is it uses ball bearing wheels on the carriage, okay? And what that means is you're gonna have a smooth, and I love watching people's faces. I just got done doing a show, we got done doing a show, and when people come up to use it, they're like, whoa, and they move it like it's just,
Ooh, they do the hula hoop is what they do.
Yeah, and it's just so smooth. And when I see their faces light up on like they wasn't expecting something that smooth, and that's because of the ball bearing wheels on the carriage. And so this system has a lot of the same features you get with our more expensive products. You get it on this one. So ball bearing on the carriage top and bottom.
Right.
So when you move it around, it just moves and it glides. I love that word glide. It just goes over the fabric like quilting should be. Quilting should glide easy, should be easy for you. And the Little Rebel on the cutie does just that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another thing that I love about the Little Rebel is that it is very similar to all of our other long arms. We have the pad printing on the side of the machine for when you are wanting to thread your machine and you're new to it and you don't have that muscle memory on the threading. It's right there for you. The buttons look familiar. They're not a big screen and scary and technical. You know, they're easy to see, easy to use for your stitch length, for changing it from quilting to sewing. Super easy, and I mean, very easy to use.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And those are some great pictures. You're seeing right now just how big it is.
Yeah.
You know, again, why this package is so sought after is because it gives customers the chance to do quilting at a price that they never knew existed. And then you have the throw space. And so we already talked about the 13-inch throw space. We talked about the harp up this way. We talked about the throw lights. You mentioned, you know, the threading, how easy it is to thread with the illustrations. when you think of a quilting machine, you want something easy. When
Right.
you look at the Little Rebel, there's not any electronic gizmos and
Right.
gadgets. It is simply a straight stitch quilting machine that's easy to use. And you know what I love the most?
What?
It's pretty much out of the box, and you guys know this, Brad and Kevin, it's pretty much out of the box, plug and play.
Yep.
Yes.
You don't need to do a lot of installation to it. This start-stop button right here on the handlebar, that just plugs into your foot pedal. This is what allows you to turn your machine on and off easy without having to reach to the side.
Right.
And you just need to attach the thread tower. But that's it. So out of the box, you're looking at a plug-and-play system that you can start quilting within minutes after you get it and get it set up on the cutie. It's that simple and that's that easy.
Well, and it sounds like it's simple, but we've got all the extra features on it too. It does have your bobbin winder. So it's a
love that.
separate bobbin winder. You don't have to unthread your machine to be able to wind a bobbin. You have the option of, doing it on the bobbin winder there. It winds all sizes of bobbins, which I didn't know until one of the shows that I was with Mark at, and I was struggling because we had a Juki showing on our Cutie Breeze frame, and I wasn't as familiar with the Juki and how to wind the bobbin. He's like, just do it on the Little Rebel. I wish I would have known that a few shows ago. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
can wind any size bobbins, not just the M class, which is great.
Yep, M-glass bobbin. It's a home sewing machine. It's a home quilting machine, and it has that look to it. So
Yeah.
if you are, again, looking and you're looking at inspiration and you're like, you know what, I've been looking at this, now's the time again to listen, because I'm about to, let's fire this up, and we're going to talk about why this is so easy to use. And I'm going to just stand to the side here. I'm going to use one hand. I'm going to use a start-stop, but first I'm going to go ahead and pull the bobbin up. When you're quilting, we always want to pull the bobbin up. So I'm going to simply do that with the needle down, okay? And I'm going to pull the bobbin. It's that simple, pulling the bobbin up, right there, okay? And you obviously going to tie it off. I'm not going to do all the steps that you do when you're quilting, so I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. So normally you would tie that off, right, before you move on.
Right.
I'm just going to turn this on so we can see how nice this is as you're quilting along. And you're going to notice, okay, so when I slow down, it slows down. Okay, look at that. And when I speed up, it speeds up. Okay, beautiful stitches, easy to use, and I'm moving the machine on top of the fabric. Okay, and you're quilting along. Okay, that is long arming to its finest.
It really is.
Right? When
Yes.
you go and you test drive machines, you have the stitch regulation, you have handlebars, you're moving it, you're gliding it along the fabric, and those products have a price that's sometimes untouchable.
True.
Okay.
That is true.
I'm getting that same experience with a Little Rebel. Smooth, it glides, and again, the price is touchable. And I love that sign behind you guys. I know we're going to talk in a minute here of how available this is, but available for immediate delivery, which I love.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're like ready and you want it today, you give Ken's a call and they will get it out the door for you. So you'll have it, so you'll be able to sew by next week.
Yep,
Or quilt, pardon me. Sew or quilt. That's the nice thing about the Little Rebel.
that's right.
Yeah.
So moving it around, okay? And what happens over the years, right? When you're quilting over the years, there's probably some maintenance that needs to happen, okay? I could just keep doing this forever on how simple that is on stitching.
Yeah.
You're going to be quilting a lot you're going to put a lot of, I don't want to say miles, but
Yeah.
stitches on the machine, okay? I love the Little Rebel because you don't need to lug this in
Right.
and get it maintained and get it serviced. Brad and Kevin, their store, I've been there. They have a lot of machines that they service, so they do a phenomenal job on service machines. So, not saying that you shouldn't take it in and make sure that it's running properly.
Right.
But one thing that I love about this machine is it's self-maintaining.
Right.
With it being ball bearing on the inside, it stays lubricated on the inside. You just need to oil the bobbin hook and the needle bar, and that is all you need to do.
So easy. I mean, you don't have to worry about bringing it in yearly to get oiled and cleaned up and that sort of thing. It's all enclosed, dust, dirt, lint, nothing's getting in there.
That's right.
Right.
That's one great thing about this machine that I really like. I work in the service department and sales and everything, and I talk to people on the phone with all different types of sewing machines. We're here to walk you through any issues you might have, but you're not going to have any. But I like this machine because I know that I can ship it all the way across the country. The customer get it, open the box, be quilting on it the same day, and not have any issues. But if there was an issue that you ran across with anything, you feel free to call us. We'll work with you on it. But this machine, I know I can trust to send it to California from Alabama, and the person will be quilting on it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely. It's awesome.
I love that. So like little training too,
Yeah.
right? Little training, little maintenance that you need to do. So like to your point, Brad, when you ship it to these other states, you feel very confident and comfortable with that customer opening it up and quilting it with on that same day.
Right. You don't have to live in Alabama.
Yeah.
You can live anywhere across the country and they will get it out to you and you are good to go. If you have any questions, you can definitely call them, email them. They'll help you out. But
any machine that you purchase from Ken Sewing Center, you're going to get our premium support package with any machine. I have 5 full-time technicians. They're all factory trained. We're here to help you. If we need to walk out on the sales floor and talk you through an issue, we can do that. We can FaceTime with you. Doesn't matter where you're located, Abby. You're going to get us for the life that you own that product.
Yep, absolutely. I love that.
I do too.
And that premium service that you offer, Kevin, is top notch. And I think that's a lot of why people, that's a lot of reasons why people go to you, Ken Sewing Center, to make their final purchases, because they're going to be taken care of regardless of where they're at. Brad, you and I have done shows for a lot of years together, and I love what you say when people buy through you. It doesn't matter where they're at. They're going to be taken care of. It can be across the nation. It could be in the same state. It could be wherever. And you guys are going to make sure that these customers are taken care of. And that customer loyalty, that customer service that you guys have to offer is really the best in the market. And that's what really helps you guys move our Grace product with customers because of that customer service that you guys have. And I love hearing when you talk about your customer service, Brad.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And Grace is great to work with too. It's kind of like you got double customer service here because you guys are awesome. We are happy to help everyone here. So you're always going to have somebody with the Little Rebel or any of the Grace products that you buy to help you all along the way.
Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, the side of the machine. We have a couple buttons, and I don't know if we can get a
We do. We have a picture.
So,
Let's pop that
so
in.
the side of the machine, we have ways to make your stitches bigger and smaller. So that they are. So let's first look at that Q button. That Q button right there, that's the quilting button. That quilting button gets activated when you cover the feed dogs. So it comes with a plate, and as soon as you put the plate over the feed dogs, that Q becomes activated. So now you're in quilting mode. The 2 buttons to that Q, those are your stitch length. So you see that first one that has a big line, okay? That's your stitches being a big stitch. Your next button you see, it goes to 2, then 3, then 4, and then I think that's 5 or 6, right? So if you push that last button all the way up, you're going to have smaller stitches.
Right.
Okay? It is still regulated, but it's regulating those smaller stitches. It's like when you look at a long arm machine, you can stitch anywhere from 5 stitches per inch up to 16 stitches per inch, right? And so when you're doing 16, you're getting very, very small stitches per inch. Likewise with the Little Rebel, those are the buttons that you want to use on how big your stitches want to be.
Right.
Now,
and
Kathy.
It looks like there's only 5 there, but
5.
Each of those buttons control 2. So there's actually 10 options there. Again, super easy to use. You just push the button more than once, and that gets you to the next level or size of stitches.
Yes. Now the 2 other buttons that you see, that's the speed.
Right.
When you hit those buttons and you turn the Q off, okay, you turn that Q button off, those other 2 buttons with the 3 blue lights will indicate the speed of the machine, and now you're running the machine in manual mode. So this, even though it has stitch regulation, you can run it in manual mode. We still find, and I don't know about you, Brad and Kevin, but we still find customers who like just to turn the regulation off and use the machine speed at manual mode.
Right.
And you can do that on the Little Rebel which I love because it doesn't eliminate like everything that you don't get on the more expensive machines. You get some really nice features on the Little Rebel. So those are what those buttons mean on the left of the machine.
Absolutely, yes. And I myself would not use manual mode because I'm a newer beginner and I don't quilt that fast. I'm kind of a slower quilter. But if you're a speed demon and you want to be able to control your machine more, it gives you that option, which is great.
Yep. Okay, so that's the side of the machine. We talked about the bobbin winder. We talked about the buttons. We talked about the throw space, how easy it is to thread. You guys, there's not a lot of like training that we need to know about the machine. You got your bare minimums to keep you happy, right? To keep you satisfied, all wrapped in this little package. The Little Rebel is something that offers a big bang with little price.
Well, and I know you guys are going to want to talk about something special that you guys do when they purchase their Little Rebel package as well, right?
We've got several things planned for you. And I just got this inventory on the Little Rebels yesterday. Now, we encourage you to give us a call because I have quilt specialists at my store. I have about 7 of them that can help you. We've got people that's went in customers' homes and set these up. So no matter if you need Cutie Breeze, you need a queen frame, a king frame, any kind of frame, we can work up packages for you. Now you're going to get our premium support package like we already talked about with any purchase. That means you can call us anytime. Be sitting in front of your machine. Half of my store is nothing but long arms. We can walk out in front of a machine, FaceTime with you if we need to shoot a video to help you. We want to be known as a store that's going to help you. If you have a problem or question, I want you to call us. We want you to be very happy with what you get here. If you're happy where you get something, the likelihood of you recommending us or calling us back is going to be greater. And that's what we want. We want you to have a good time. So what we're doing for this particular event, while supplies last, because I got a rebate, I negotiated a rebate with Grace on the Little Rebel. You're going to get a $500 rebate off the price of any package we have on the Little Rebel that's on our website. And we can direct you to our website. Give us a call. Let us know what frame. You may not even want a frame. You may want to just start with the machine and take baby steps into it. That's perfectly fine. We encourage you to do that. But if you know you want a frame, we can help you with that. If you know that you want other automation, we can help you with that. And plus, since you're looking at this video today, I've got some free items that I want to talk to you about that we're going to include, no matter if you just get the machine only or whatever frame that you decide to go with. The first thing we're going to give is the most important is the light bar you see. So Brad's going to turn that on to show you. This is LED illumination. There's one thing about being able to quilt, if you can see what you're doing, this is a softer light. It's not like a regular light bulb. So what it does, it illuminates the entire area that you're quilting at. So you don't have the eye strain. You can match your colors of thread, the fabric. So much better, you're not going to have the glare. Now, if you go with a Cutie Breeze, we're going to give you a 5-foot. But what if you get one of the larger frames? You need a bigger light bar. We're going to include for the bigger frames a 10-foot light bar and no additional charge. Now, that's not all I'm going to do for you. I've got some of the more popular accessories that we want to include for everybody while supplies last, because I was only able to get just a few of these. I'm going to be including the 3-piece foot kit. This is the most popular foot kit that you get that's available that we sell for the Little Rebel. It's going to give you all the popular. You get into ruler foot sewing, and you may not know yet. I don't know what all I want to do with the machine because there's so much you can do with it. This foot kit is going to be there for you when you get ready to do ruler foot sewing, or if you need an open toe free motion foot to be able to see. And that's what we're here for, to help you all along the way. Now, there's other things you can do with it, like following patterns for panographs and things of that nature. We're including the laser, the Gracie laser. This has been in the Grace line for years and years. We have sold thousands of these over the years for all the different brands. We're including that as well. But I've got one other little thing that no one else in the country has that we're going to include. This is an item that I've had specially made for my dealership, and it's going to give you the most popular scissors and tools that's out there. I've got a 5-piece scissor set that I'm including. It comes in its own little pouch. But in this scissor set, I've got applique scissors, I've got tweezers for maintenance, I've got squeeze snips you can get in and snip those threads. This here alone is $100 value. We're giving you all of that. So look on our website. Any price you see, remember, you're going to get $500 off of that price. I'm going to ship this to you free of charge. And then you're also going to get our premium support package.
Wow. That's so much. That's awesome. I'm going to order mine right now.
Yeah. That's an amazing package.
It really is.
You get all those free items. You're looking at like an opportunity of having everything you need out of the box to get started, right? If you're new to quilting, if you're not new to quilting, but you want to become new to like long arming,
right?
Kevin, that is an amazing package that you get when you buy through you, and call in. You see their number at the bottom of the screen there, so call in, and they have a wonderful team. When I was there, it's amazing, Brad and Kevin. They're in this room and they pick up the phone quick. They're very polite. They know their stuff. They're going to answer all your questions. Give them a call. That's why we do this with our wonderful partner with Ken's, is because we know how fascinating and opportunity there is out there for customers to get in. So give them a call right now to secure that, because I know limited supplies are there, because I know you guys got some for this package, but they go out your door pretty quick. I mentioned earlier in the very beginning that it's hard for you guys to keep this in stock, and so limited supply, so give them a call right away so you can get yours with this package, because they're going to go out the door quick.
That is true.
Yeah, we've been selling this machine since it came out, and I've never been able to offer all the free items at this price and still be able to ship it to you. So we appreciate the partnership that we have with Grace. They work with us very well. And then too, I have plenty of the technicians here that can help you long after the sale. For the life that you own that product, you can call us here anytime. Or if you're close enough to our store, come on in. We've got these machines here. We can sit down with you and answer your question. If you've got a group, it doesn't matter. We don't care where you purchased your machine from. If you're having problems with your machine and you need help, just pick up the phone, give us a call.
Yeah, pick up the phone.
We're happy to do too is if somebody wants to call in and they have questions, we can do a video call demonstration. So they can ask their questions, we can show them on the machine, and we'll be glad to video call with anybody.
That's right.
Right, and that's the kind of service you get with Ken's. I mean, I hear it day in and day out with the customers calling. They've talked to someone over at Ken's. They're so great. They just wanted to let us know. I love hearing that. It's my favorite part of the day, is having customers call in just to tell me how much they love Ken's.
That's right.
So thank you guys.
That's right. And she knows. She is Ken's account person. But the comments are saying just what we're saying. There's a lot of comments that said nobody beats Ken's. We love Ken's. Ken's Sewing Center this, Ken's Sewing Center that. It is very, very true. And when we're talking about the pricing to call in, that is worth your while.
Right.
They're doing that $500 off with the free items. Give them a call so you can hear the price, because I'm going to tell you right now, the price you're going to hear is not going to be seen anywhere else. And so give them a call, because it is going to be worth your while to hear how low you can get this package. Is going to be unheard of. So give them a call right now. You see the numbers on there. They got people standing by. Or going to the store. I love that, right? If you're close by, go into your store as well.
Right, and not only is the price unbeatable, you get all of those free accessories. I mean, these are things that you don't know that you want until you're in it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I wish I had this and this. These are those things that you wish you had, and they're giving them to you for free. So it's amazing.
Yeah, but it is amazing. Brad and Kevin, any last inspirational messages for those customers who, again, been on the fence? They're looking at their cell phone. They're watching us. They're looking at their cell phone. They're like, oh, do I just call? Like, what's the last inspirational thoughts, messages that you can bring out to let customers know why this package is going to take their quilting to the next level?
I've heard that one of the things that, like a lady that's interested in buying a long arm machine usually waits 3 to 4 years to purchase one. You guys have made it so easy that you don't have to wait. Why wait? Give us a call today. It's affordable, it's easy to use, and you'll love it, I promise. Give it a try.
Love it. Okay, we have people from Idaho talking about that one Little Rebel. If you're watching anywhere in the country,
Yeah.
give Ken's a call. Doesn't matter where you're at, give Ken's a call so you can get that fantastic free item, those free items that you get,
Right.
plus the price. The
Right.
price and the free items are going to be worth it. If you have a birthday coming up, you have an anniversary coming up,
Yep.
if you just want to get it, give Ken's a call, and then their staff will take care of you
Absolutely.
100%.
Thank you so much.
It's hard to go wrong with the Little Rebel, you know, because I carry all the major brands that's out there, and thinking about quilting machines, we can tell you the differences in all of them, and show you why the Little Rebel is one you seriously want to consider. And then as time goes on and you get growing in your quilting journey, if you need to get even larger, a long arm, the nice thing about the Grace frames is you can put long arm machines on them. So you can set your Little Rebel to the side and use it for your piecing and other things, or maybe just free motion at it, and then have a long arm, a cutie long arm on that same frame.
Well, we do have a really great question from Danielle. She wants to know if you carry the automation, and we neglected to say.
Let's quickly, if we have a minute.
Yes, you can automate this system.
Yep.
So you've seen the automation work. You see how fantastic it is. You can automate the Cutie Breeze and the Little Rebel. It's an option.
Yes.
I mean,
and it's an affordable option.
Yes.
When you think of automation, and I know price is a sensitive thing when it comes to automation. You see right up here, we have our tablet tray. This is what we have, and we have it ready for automation. We don't have it on because this segment is on the Little Rebel and the Cutie.
Right.
But this is where your tablet would go for the run automation. And what I love about that package is you can get a Little Rebel Cutie combo with the automation. And I don't know, because I know you guys have really good price on the automation as well, but they're going to be like they better sit down when they call, because they're going to fall out of their chair, because they're going to get, you can get an automated system for, well, I couldn't even tell you how much it is. Call them, because it is a very, very low price. But yes, you can automate the system right now. And we have 3 versions of automation.
Yeah.
You can get our very basic automation that allows you to go edge to edge, and that's it. You can get our midline that you can, place block patterns and go edge to edge with several other new features from manipulating your pattern. Or you can get our top of the line automation with the Little Rebel. You don't need the top of the line machine to go with a top of the line automation. You can mix and match the automations with Little Rebel. So I know you guys have the automations too that you can also price out.
We have some huge discounts on the automation right now too, and we have financing available too. I forgot to mention that. If you're waiting on that tax return check to come in, and there's no need to pass this deal up. You can go ahead and get it today and pay for it later. We got easy terms.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love the comments. I know we're short on time here, but Brenda, having a Grace quilting system has made it possible for me to keep quilting. This is what we've been talking about. This entire segment is our product, our partners that offer this wonderful pricing and the free items. It allows customers to keep quilting. My body could no longer sandwich a quilt, and Grace Frame had changed all of that. So go for it.
Yes.
That's what Brenda had mentioned on there. So yes, go for it. If you're, again, on the fence, if you've been looking at your room, looking at your phone, and you want to call, you want to get it at some point. Don't let this opportunity pass it up.
Yeah, this is one of those rare events where we was able to negotiate that huge rebate and then also get the free bonus items. This is hard to go wrong right now. So just give my staff a call. I'll be in there. Brad will be in there. We'll be glad to talk with you anytime and help you find the right package that's going to work.
100%.
It's been great talking with you guys today. I know you're going to be really busy today. Everyone's going to want to jump on this deal. But thank you for taking the time and talking about one of our very favorite products. I mean, the Little Rebel, he's a little rebel, but we really love him. So, I mean, it's been fun, and I think people are going to be really excited to get in on this deal.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being such great partners.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody watching today.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.